Hola, mami. Welcome to Solid 100. I'm your girl, Lisette Soto. Welcome to the show. Unfortunately, my mic is not working, so I might not be sounding as crisp. But listen, we're going to be talking about trends. That's right, trends. And the reason why it's important is because there's so many trends that get churned out throughout the year that it's absolutely insane to keep up with. People spend thousands of dollars on red light therapy, supplements, courses, conferences, AI tools, and the latest trend while completely ignoring the boring fundamentals that actually change their lives. I know. I know. Right now the latest trend is peptides. And so I grow weary of trends. And the way that the day that it hit me, I'll never forget. I was getting out of the divorce, and I had to establish basically a brand new me. The foundation was there, but like even down to like how I walk, the clothes that I wore, the jewelry that I have, and I cover all of this in my book Solid. And the way that I discovered that I was a trend chaser was when I was looking at wardrobe essentials. You know how like if you're building a wardrobe, you can go on Pinterest and it'll say this is what you need to build your wardrobe out, and it'll be like blue jeans with no rips in them, crisp white shirts, white collared shirts, one striped shirt, like stick to the neutrals that you can like interchange, one black skirt, interchangeable things that are easy and simple to put together but very classy. And these were staples of wardrobes that every woman needs to have. And then I started learning about women who buy based on trend versus people who buy based on, I don't want to say they're that style, but like based on the core essentials that they have, based on like a class, like classy versus trendy. And in the trendy, the habits of the trendy, like people who bought for trend, like what was trending. Like I know one thing that this year and this episode is for everybody, so I don't want to leave all the men out, so stay with me. But one of the things that I noticed in this past winter that was trending, or this year, was the thin layer of lace underneath whatever it was that you were wearing. It was like a lace. It was really pretty. However, it's not a staple in a wardrobe, it's a trend. And typically with trends, you can actually, on the other side of that, you can invest in trends because there are things that you see that are coming that are going to be hot, that people are going to be buying. And I don't mean buying the clothes, I mean like actually investing in the stock of wherever that trend is derived from, if that makes sense, like on a financial side. So if you see that, like, I don't know, jelly shoes are back in, which they are, you can see that it's coming back for this season. You can actually buy stock in a company that makes jelly shoes, and then you can pull out of it when you see the trend die off. And so I had learned that the habits of people who buy trendy clothes, like clothes that are kind of in, that everybody's kind of picking up on, or like the jelly shoes or bell bottoms or whatever the trend is in fashion, that they buy based upon what they see. So like you go to the store, you're not really even looking for anything. You're like, oh, that's cute, everyone's wearing that right now. And then you buy it, and then you go home, you add it to your closet. Well, typically people who buy things on trend, they have a closet filled with trends. There's nothing staple in there. And it's hard to mix and match any of the things that are in there unless you buy it with that intention. Stay with me. There I was. I was getting a divorce, and I had to clean out my closet. Mind you, I had a huge hidden, it was like a bookcase, and you could walk in. It was a walk-in closet that we shared. And I looked at my wardrobe, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, we're going to Puerto Rico because that's where we were as we were headed after Boston. Obviously, I just need my summer clothes. And I literally looked at my closet, and everything that I had in there, nothing really matched. It was like bright and then like flannel, and then like there was just so many different kinds of clothes in there that I realized that I didn't have a style. It was just like I bought based on what my eyes liked and not what my style was. And so I was like, I'm getting rid of all this. I literally got rid of most of my clothes. I kept some of my winter clothes with a friend's house, and then I sent my summer clothes over to PR. I got rid of a lot of those summer clothes, and then I ended up buying like staple pieces, like the white crisp tee, the linen shirt, the linen pant, linen shorts that were neutral, and I ended up having this the whole year I was there, I had this neutral style that I loved. It was like very classy. I learned about keeping your jewelry very minimal, not having crazy jewelry at the time, because now I'm starting to vibrant, obviously. I'm starting to be a little bit more vibrant. But I learned that trendy people who buy things on trend, not that they're not stable, but it's just that it's not solid. It's just a kind of like, oh, this is cute, this is what's in, I'm gonna buy it. And it's not a sustainable way to buy clothes, especially if your style is based on the trend, on the newest thing that's out. And my question is, are you a trend whore? Are you? Because we buy the gadget, we join the program, we chase the hack, but we won't consistently sit down and do those little boring things that really will bring long-term results. Why is that? Why are we not disciplined enough, or even think that it's enough just to have the staples instead of chasing the latest and greatest thing that's kind of going to shortcut your way? Like, I find like trends are kind of like shortcut ways to find style when all you need is like a basic solid wardrobe. And, and then you can add on to that. Like right now I'm adding on to my basic wardrobe. It kind of got all over the place this winter, but I already know what a stable, classy wardrobe looks like. When I go to the store, my eyes aren't darting and I'm saying, this is cute, and I'm not buying it and buying it out of budget. And so like, even now with the craze with red light therapy, when that came out, I remember trying it. And I mean, I've tried all kinds of trends. I've tried all kinds of diet, the vegan, the keto, all different things that were just kind of popping at one point. And some people have made it into a lifestyle. But it just like, I tried them all and I didn't like any of them. And then I had to revert back to like, what does my body like and what does it respond well to? My body responds well to steak and eggs and like the core protein that it needs to sustain itself during this period of my life. Anything outside of that, like all of the crazy supplements, like I know this bodybuilder, you go into their house and it's like tons of supplements and maybe that's what they need that for their body to compete. But long term, I'm looking to build a discipline that's sustainable for my body, because I know whatever I get quickly, it's going to leave quickly as well, if that makes any sense. It's kind of like fasting. Like when you fast, you lose a lot of weight really quickly, but then you gain it all back if you can't sustain that kind of a lifestyle. And so, we don't consistently, it prevents us from saving money and, showing up every day and doing the little things every single day that normally would have you have long-term results, but we're just trying to cut corners. And then you wonder why nothing changes. The problem isn't that the trends are bad. The problem is that many of us are looking for that shortcut instead of developing discipline. I know, and you know what? I waited out the peptide thing, and I'm not trying to be hypocritical here, but like, first of all, with the injections, when people started doing that a lot, like people I knew close, I was like, wait, where is that coming from? Where is that chemical coming from? And the reason why I was asking was because I don't even like vaccinate my child because I want to know the components of what's in there and the side effects long term. Why would I just grab something from nobody knows where it's made and inject myself with it? You know what I mean? Like, to me, it was like, whoa, what, like, let's pump the brakes here. We don't even know what's in this stuff. And so for me, after that whole debacle with the trendy clothes and stuff, now I ease my way into the trends. I study it, I research it. I want to know like if it's really working for people before I go ahead and invest all this money. You know what I mean? And I want to make sure that it's something that I can incorporate into my lifestyle that will help me long term and there won't be any side effects long term. You know, I've been waiting on this peptide train and I've contacted some great people. I've interviewed some awesome people, functional medicine doctors and people who are in IV. And then I found a good source where to get it from. I haven't gotten it yet because I'm perfecting right now the discipline in my body to be at the gym in the mornings, to lift 3-4 times a week, and to walk 10,000 steps 4 times a week, which I've done. And now the discipline with the food is coming in now, where I'm not snacking, I'm eating whole foods. You know what I mean? Like, I want to get that down before I start I hate to say this, but before I even attempt to try to do that, I want to make sure I have good habits before I jump onto that trend. You know, I want to talk about whether we're building a life or simply just chasing the shiny objects of like what's new and, you know, what's hip. You know what I'm saying? Galatians 6:9, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest, if not give up. Everybody wants a harvest, but few people stay planted long enough to get it. And I honestly want to be around people who you can tell by their fruit what they have done in the quiet or behind the scenes. They weren't loud about it, but they did the boring, mundane thing. They got up at 5:30, they went to the gym. They got up at 5:30, they went to the gym. They got up at 5:30, they went to the gym. They got up at 5:30, as opposed to the person that's like, yeah, I had this pill and I lost 40 pounds. I don't want to be around the person that had the pill and lost 40 pounds without any discipline whatsoever, because they're chasing something that it's not going to sustain them long term. I want to be around the person who developed the mindset and the grit to do something so that they had that in their mind. Do not get weary in well doing. And then at some point that compounds. I read this book called The Slight Edge in my 20s, and it completely changed me, where the entire message is like small actions repeated consistently create massive results over time. And this happens a lot in, like, if you see it in the investing world, where, you know, if you invest weekly, at some point it's going to get huge. Reading 10 pages a day doesn't really seem important, you know what I mean? But it's vital for your mindset in order for you to grow. Walking 30 minutes doesn't seem important. Posting a video every day doesn't seem important. Like me doing this every single day for 100 days, this is exactly why I'm doing it, because I am not going to fall back on AI to do all of my because I find it to be AI to be trendy too, because you know, AI just kind of fixes itself. And so one day Claude will have a great digital design, and then the next day it's trash, and then it's nano banana, and then that's trash, and then ChatGPT makes it awesome, and then now it's awesome. And it's kind of like you got to figure out what is a new trendy thing, which AI is improving itself quicker so that you can get on that too and use it. It's not sustainable. That's why I'm glad that I have an eye for design, and that I know how to design outside of AI, because should something happen to AI, I have built the grit and the time into learning how to create great book covers. You know what I mean? I don't have to rely on that. And it's important that you do it. You know, posting every day, praying every morning doesn't seem important. But that's exactly why people don't do them. The things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. And over time, those small choices do compound. Zechariah 4:10 says, do not despise these small beginnings. Most people want explosive growth. God often works through daily faithfulness. Daily. Over and over and over and over. Boring. It's not exciting. You don't really post about it because it's just the same thing. That sweet potato that you're eating every day, same sweet potato, make it into French fries, mash it up, boil it. It's still sweet potato at the end of the day. But a year from now, your body composition might look completely different because you took the measures of the sweet potato. The problem is that people are promoting things and saying, yeah, I got this great thing that I'm promoting, this great pill I'm promoting, get the snatch waist, when really you had sweet potato for 2 years. And that it was the small discipline that got you to where you are today. Trend chasing can feel like progress. It feels kind of like, ooh, I got the new shortcut to doing X, Y, and Z. And that happens a lot in the digital space, like a new business strategy, a new diet, a new church, a new relationship, a new social media platform. We got Threads now. What the is Threads? Like the new everything, a new word from God. To me, it's like same water, different wave, really. Starting something new feels productive, but sometimes what we call pivoting is really quitting on like the disciplines that are required for you to grow. Every time things get hard or boring or slow, we like jump ship and find a different way to do it that's easier, that's quicker, that's cheaper. And the problem is that fruit takes time. Fruit, when you plant a seed, yeah, we're going to go there. When you plant a seed in the ground, does it come up that same day? Does it just, are you checking on it? Are you checking on it every 5 seconds for that day? Or does it take time to sprout and become a plant and to become a tree? And how long does that take? You can't reap a harvest from a field you keep abandoning. I know. Yes, I know. There are things that can accelerate the fruit. There's fertilizer that can accelerate the fruit to grow. I understand. I get it. Use it. It's good. But realize that one day the fertilizer might not be there. And you got to know, you have to have the diligence and the patience in order to cultivate that fruit without you abandoning it. Fundamentals always work. When I was training for softball, there was always like a new way to hit or like a new way to pitch or like whatever it was. And so we would get creative in the way that we would train. And I will never forget a time where it was kind of like before I went to play for college, when I was younger, let's say I was like U12 and I was 10, I had to learn the ropes, and it was hard because everybody was like a year old. People who had been in U12 already were already experienced. They were 11 or they were 12 years old, and they were a lot more advanced than I was. And so I would struggle that first year because you're just learning the pace of the game. And then the second year under U12, it was easier and you're more seasoned and older and stronger. And so I remember in college, we, and this happens too, like when you're younger in your U12, like you just have sometimes these seasons where it's just like you can't hit a ball or your throwing is off. And it's usually that time when you're learning the ranks or the ropes of that league that you're in, the U12. And I remember just being so frustrated about it. And it would frustrate me. Like every other year, it was like I had to learn a new level and I had to learn a new level. And in college, when that happened to me, the coach, and it happened to like all the girls, which was really weird. Like we were having like a down season. It was just, we were losing the games, and our coach made us go back to the fundamentals. He put a tee out, like from t-ball, And he made us hit from the tees. Like, no, we're going back to the fundamentals. You guys aren't looking at this ball right. Something's off with your swing. We're not going to be doing the new trend thing that all the other teams are doing. We are going to hit fundamentals. And that's what we did. We hit the tee all season, and it annoyed me so much. And then we did basic things that you would do in T-ball. Basic things so that we can get the fundamentals back. Everybody wants red light therapy, but are you sleeping? Is your phone away, before you go to bed? Is it in the kitchen? Everybody wants peptides, but are you eating protein? And protein fills you up so you don't get hungry. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants a business coach, but are you making sales calls? Are you already active? Everybody wants a prophetic word, but are you reading your Bible? We're obsessed with optimization while neglecting the obedience. And the fundamentals are not sexy. They are not sexy, but they work. And God blesses faithfulness. Luke 16:10 says, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. God isn't looking for the most talented person. He's looking for the faithful one, the one who keeps showing up, the one who keeps planting, the one who keeps praying, the one who's going when nobody is watching. Just keeps going, whether they're posting it or not. Discipline always beats motivation. 1 Corinthians 9:24-27. Motivation is emotional and it's external at the end of the day. And discipline is a decision that you make within yourself that you keep to yourself. You honor the word that you have given yourself. Successful people don't always feel like doing the work. They simply just do it anyway. They just do it anyway. They're not looking for shortcuts. They know this is what so-and-so did to be fruitful. I'm going to do this. I'm going to walk in that same step right there. If your life depends on motivation, you'll quit every time things get difficult. In your life, if your life is built on discipline, you'll keep moving forward no matter what the circumstances look like. Ask yourself these questions. Am I building or am I chasing? Do I quit too quickly and hop on the next trend? Have I confused boredom with lack of purpose? What fundamentals am I avoiding? For real, if you're on, this girl asked me today at church, really sweet girl. She leans over and she goes, yo, everybody's on peptides. They look so skinny. She goes, are you on them? And I went, I'm looking at some peptides right now, but right now I'm in the gym diligently and my eating is on point. Like this week, my eating has been on point and it has to stay that way for the rest of the summer. Before I can even think about investing in that, am I doing all of the things that are required to develop that discipline before I reach out to something that can probably accelerate it? However, if it goes away, if peptides go away tomorrow, I want to make sure that I'm already disciplined. It doesn't matter if I have them or not. It's just the reality of the situation. I'm not calling anybody out right now. It's just one of the things. It's just like red light therapy. When red light therapy came out, I actually went and had 2 sessions of red light therapy. I don't know if you have to do it for a year. There was nothing that said that I had to do it for a certain amount of time. I didn't really have an injury. I just wanted to kind of check it out. Now the sauna, the infrared sauna, that immediately I see a huge difference. But for red light therapy, I'm like, what? I don't really see a difference in this. And I ask people who are regulars at red light therapy, have you seen a difference? No. Well, I'm not gonna invest in that. Sorry, but no. What has God already told me to do that I'm not doing consistently? Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a month and underestimate what they can accomplish in 5 years. Trend chasers are always starting. When the trend is not working out anymore, or when it has gone down, when it just kind of died down, They're going to be looking for the next one. They're itching for the next trend that's coming. Disciplined people are always building. The next trend isn't your breakthrough. It's just not. The next supplement, the next conference, the next shiny object is not your breakthrough. Your breakthrough may be hidden in the boring thing that God already told you to keep doing again and again until the harvest comes. Trend chasers start a lot of things. They do. Disciplined people finish them. Your future is built. Listen to me. Your future is built by the small things that you do consistently, that slight edge that nobody is looking, that nobody cares about, not the exciting things that you do occasionally. I say this to you with love. And I'm not saying it, listen, I might be on that peptide train soon, but not before I get very disciplined in what I need to get disciplined in. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know? Te amo. I love you. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.